Good day, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of Hashtag Heal Talk. I am Rochelle Davis, aka Pastor Ro, and this is the Hashtag Heal Talk podcast. As a survivor of childhood trauma, I seek to share inspirational messages to empower and offer hope to those who are on their spiritual journey of healing from past traumas. Do me a favor. Will you follow this podcast? Make sure you're following this podcast so you don't miss me. These messages are life changing, they are life altering, and they will be a blessing to your life. All right, y'all, let's get into it for today. I am going to be walking heavy, but I'm going to be talking right. Today's topic for our hashtag Heal Talk is I need to, but I don't want to. Did y'all hear that? I need to, but I don't want to. How do you heal when you don't have the will? Oh, this is going to be good because I'm sure that is the $1,000,000 question. What do I do when I know I want something different, but I don't have the will to go after it? How do I say no when I really want to say yes? How do I walk away when I know I need to leave? How do I let go when all I want to do is hold on with a kung fu grip? Pastor Rogue, how do I forgive when all I want to do is hate? You see, we want to heal and we don't want to heal. We want to change, but we don't want to change. We want different relationships, but we don't want different relationships. We want to look different. We want to feel different. We want to act different. We want to be different, but we don't want it. How do I heal when I don't have the will? That is probably one of the biggest questions that many of you will have as you start your healing process. When you are struggling with what is called ambivalence, ambivalence is the state of having mixed emotions. The Bible talks about being double-minded, right? Like being tossed back and forth, having this double mind. You know the right thing to do, but you can't seem to do it. You know what you should say, but you can't seem to say it. You know how you should act, but you can't seem to act the way that you should. This struggle with ambivalence has you questioning, is my healing really worth it? Is this process of healing and transformation, is it really worth it? Right? Because one minute you think you're ready to let go. And then the next minute, you scare yourself into not making any changes at all. I mean, literally, you scare your own self to death. And when I say scare yourself to death, I'm not talking about a physical death as much as I'm talking about you kill the possibility of living a life of freedom and living a life of victory because you are so accustomed or you have become so connected or you identify with the pain and the trauma so much that being anything other than traumatic scares the heck out of you and you don't know what to do. And so this internal struggle, I need you to understand, is part of your healing journey. You're not going crazy. This is something that all of us struggle with. Even if we're not necessarily on a journey of healing from past trauma, even when we have major life decisions to make, we toggle with this spirit of ambivalence where we go back and forth between moving forward or staying in the same place. And so I don't want you to feel like you're going crazy. I don't want you to feel like you're not doing it right. Healing isn't easy. Did you hear that? Healing isn't easy. Healing is hard. Healing is messy. Healing is not linear. It doesn't go in a straight line. I said this on a couple of podcasts before that there will be days when you're on the mountaintop and there will be days when you are in the valley. There will be days when you feel accomplished and victorious, and there will be days when you feel defeated. That is part of the process. It is messy. It is uncomfortable. You did not get sick overnight, and you're not going to heal overnight. And so this journey is going to have ebbs and flows. It's going to have ups and it's going to have downs. And here's the thing. Our trauma, think about this. Think about it this way. Our trauma has been like a flotation device. So imagine, like me, you don't know how to swim, because I don't know how to swim. Yes, I'm 49 and don't know how to swim, have no desire to swim, scared to death to get in large bodies of water without a flotation device. So imagine you can't swim, but you want to get in the ocean. You travel across the country to go to the most beautiful exotic island, and there is this pristine, clear blue water, and you want to get in it, but you don't know how to swim. And so you get a flotation device because you want to be able to navigate the beauty of this water safely. And so you cling to that flotation device. And that is what trauma has become for many of us. Trauma has literally become a flotation device that we have used our entire life. Most of us, for years, we have been clinging to our trauma, clinging to the hurt, clinging to the abandonment and the resentment and the brokenness. And so your trauma has been your flotation device for your whole life. And here somebody is telling you, it's okay. You can let it go. You can cut yourself loose. And I don't know about y'all, but if I'm in a large body of water, first of all, I know I can't swim. Yes, I took lessons at YMCA, got kicked out. Oh, nah, that's another story. That's for another podcast. But if somebody is on the shore telling me, the person who can't swim, who has never navigated the water without the device, to let the device go, I'm going to be apprehensive because I've never done it before. I've never swam without a flotation device. I'm familiar with the flotation device. Are you following me? We have become familiar with the trauma. I have not navigated my life without anger. Maybe you've never navigated your life without bitterness and resentment. Maybe you've never navigated your life without the spirit of unforgiveness. And so here you are, trying to tread new waters, right? Of freedom, of peace, of liberty, of joy, of happiness, of love without abuse. And it's scary. But at the same time, there is this sense of excitement of letting go. There is this sense of excitement of trusting that maybe I can swim without the flotation device. Maybe I can navigate the waters without being dependent upon this thing that I have held on to all my life. So there's this toggle between fear and the feeling of freedom. There's this up and down. There's this back and forth between being free and being in bondage. And so while we're afraid to let go, we feel excited about letting go. We look forward to a life of peace and a life of joy. We look forward to enjoying a life without being chained to our fears and to our doubts. So, back to the question at hand. What do I do? What do you do when you know you need to, but you don't want to? What do you do when you know you need to change, but you don't want to change? What do you do when you know that you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, yet the familiar feels better than the unfamiliar? What do you do? Can I give you a suggestion? And it's not real deep. It's not real spiritual, but I'm going to give you a suggestion. You be patient with yourself. You be patient with yourself. You've never done this before. And there's no reason for you to pretend like you have. You've never navigated life without feeling bitter. You've never navigated life without feeling some form of hatred towards people. You've never navigated life trusting women or trusting men. You've never done this before. So you got to be patient with yourself, and you got to be honest about where you are. You got to keep telling yourself the truth. Transparency is the key. It is okay to say, I'm not okay. It's okay to say, I'm afraid. It's okay to say, I don't know what this looks like. It's okay to say, I don't know what to do. Transparency is the key. I want you to give yourself permission to ask the questions. How do I do this? How do I swim the waters of freedom? How do I navigate life loving without abuse? How do I live my life without resentment and bitterness? Ask the questions. Give yourself permission to ask the questions. Give yourself permission to express the doubts and the fears. If you need to, talk to somebody. I keep telling y'all this. If you need to go to therapy to work through this, go to therapy. If you need counseling, go to counseling. Whatever you need to do so that you can keep moving forward, you're going to need to do that. And then here's the other part. Letting go takes a lot of emotional energy. Right? When you disconnect yourself from something that you are familiar with, or when you cut yourself loose from something that you are familiar with, you're going to grieve. There's going to be a grieving process because you've been with this thing, this person, all these years. And even though it was unhealthy, even though it was toxic, and you start to let go and you start to pull away, there is going to be a lot of emotional energy that you're going to use to begin to navigate this new life. And some days you'll feel motivated, and other days you'll just want to hide under the covers. And guess what? That's okay. It's okay. It is okay. There will be times in this journey, right, that you'll want things to change, but you don't know what it looks like without the trauma. You don't know what it looks like without the pain. And so you'll do whatever you think is necessary to keep things the same, even though you know that doesn't serve you anymore. And that's okay. That's part of the process, right? Feeling afraid of change is normal. I'm going to say that again. Feeling afraid of change is normal, but getting stuck in your fear will keep you from moving forward. Feeling afraid of change is normal, but getting stuck in your fear will keep you from moving forward. The Bible says in Psalms 23:4, Psalms 23, part of Psalms 23 in verse 4, it says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, because thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me." The psalmist says, even though I have to go this way, even though I have to walk through this pain, even though I have to walk through this season of darkness, even though I have to walk through this season of uncertainty, even though I'm walking through this season and I'm afraid, even though I'm walking through my trauma, I don't need to fear. Why? Because I don't want to get stuck in my fear. So I got to keep walking through it. I got to feel the feelings and feel my way forward. Sit with the feeling, acknowledge the feeling, and then find a way to keep moving forward. The key is walking through, not dwelling in. Did you hear me? The key to this healing journey is walking through it, but not dwelling in it. Not making anger your place of residence. Not making depression your place of residence. Not making fear your place of residence. I walk through the valley, but I don't live there. I cut through, but I don't stay too long. And when we have when we start expressing kindness towards ourselves, and when we start extending ourselves grace, and we start expressing compassion for our uncertainties about what's on the other side of this, we start accepting ourselves in ways that we have never known before. So be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Extend compassion to yourself. Extend yourself some grace as you go through this thing. Allow grace to find you. And when grace finds you, it brings healing with it. And we learn to accept ourselves just as we are, where we are, while the transformation of becoming God's best version of ourselves shows up. We learn to accept ourselves just as we are, where we are, while the transformation of becoming God's best version of myself shows up. I want to end our podcast today with a song. Donnie McClurkin wrote a song called Stand. And part of the lyrics say this. Listen to what these lyrics say. Because what we've been talking about today is, I need to, but I don't want to. How do I heal when I don't have the will to heal? Donnie McClurkin's song, Stand, the lyrics say this: what do you do when you've done all you can, and it seems like it's never enough? And what do you say when your friends turn away and you're all alone? What do you do when you've given your all and it seems like you can't make it through? He says, you stand when there's nothing left to do. You stand and watch the Lord see you through. After you've done all that you can, you stand. He then goes on to say, tell me, how do you handle the guilt of your past? How do you deal with the shame? How can you smile while your heart has been broken and filled with pain? What do you give when you've given your all and it seems like you can't make it through? You stand when there's nothing left to do and watch the Lord see you through. I want you to be encouraged on today, because maybe that's you. Maybe you're at that place in your journey where you're saying, Pastor Rowe, I know I need to, but I don't want to. I know I need to, but I'm afraid to. I know I need to, but I'm not sure. I know I need to heal, but I'm not sure that I'm ready. I know I need to forgive, but I don't know if I'm ready. I know I need to, but I don't want to. I want to heal, but I don't have the will. Here's what I want to say to you. Stand. Stand in what you're feeling. Stand in the fear. Stand in the uncertainty. Stand in the doubt. Stand in it. But as you're standing, I want you to watch the Lord see you through. God has made a promise to us that He would never leave us and He would never abandon us. And even in your place of doubt, in that place of fear that you are right now, as you're listening to this podcast and you're saying, I know I need to get out. I'm tired of living like this. I'm tired of feeling like this. I want you to know that the Father is right there with you. The psalmist says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I don't fear. Why? Not because I'm strong enough. Not because I'm not afraid. Not because I'm certain, but because God is with me. He's guiding me, He's leading me, and He is protecting me. And so I want you to be encouraged as you continue to move through and navigate this thing called healing, that God is with you. You are not alone. God is going to send people to support you. God is going to surround you with people that genuinely love you and want the best for you. And so I want you to be encouraged. Cry if you need to. Be scared if you feel you have to. But whatever you do, don't give up. I hope you have enjoyed this podcast today. I hope you have enjoyed this hashtag Heal Talk message. I hope that it has inspired you, it has empowered you, and challenged you to become God's best version of yourself. Until next time, thank you for tuning in to hashtag Heal Talk with Pastor Rowe. Blessings and be well.